Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Workers and Resources. Check it out. Our waste train. It's doing its thing. It's loading, and it's pretty slow. It's a slow load. I'm not gonna lie. I wish it was faster, but this is the maximum we can possibly do this. So this waste is now gonna get out of this at 370 tons each. All right, the train here, right? 370 tons is its maximum capacity. And so it's going to be able to take most of what this thing has in it. And then it will transport it on the rail network all the way over to here and dump it off in here. And this is getting emptied out, so it should have the capacity to go ahead and do so. And that train's been told to wait until loaded. So as long as it can fully unload its load here, it should be able to go back over there and just sit there and load up as much as it can, which means our steel area can resume and make things, right? This stuff is all gone so fast. And like, there's even more to go. There's actually 40 cabins just sitting in this station. So I don't know if we should have bought that many cabins, but hey, we did. And it's gonna be fine, I think. It should work out pretty well. We don't actually have any more cabins on this truck. So all these extra ones that I did here, we can tell them to just go and, I don't know, go back to the road depot and just hang out, I guess. We don't have any vehicles, so we'll do that. Okay, so the true test of this is whether or not we can get that train to come on in here, dump off its full load, and go back onto the rail network, and then we can process it fast enough. Now, obviously, everything is, we're only as good as our weakest link here, right? So 30 tons of mixed waste is the limit. As we go into here, we're at 20 tons. So it's kind of like this is our bottleneck. Aluminum is our bottleneck. And I'm sorry to say, but that sucks. I don't like it. Because we really don't have a lot for aluminum. So I kind of don't like this. And I sort of want to make it to where it has its own thing. I kind of want to make sure it has its own thing, right? So if I had to go back and do this design over again, the tweak that I would make is that I would have 2 scrap separators connected. And then if it's possible, which at this point it would be possible if I just didn't have the hazardous waste. Because we are processing hazardous waste too. And that does go in here too. That does add to the stack here. But if I had to go through it, I would find a way to get 2 of these, because then we could process 60 tons. And then that 60 could then translate over here into 50. Because this is probably never going to need to process 50 tons a day, just because it's not being sent that much. It's only being sent 20. Or I would find a way to get the aluminum separator some other way. So for example, I would tell my, all the different separators that's going through here. Like, so let's say, for example, these guys find aluminum scrap, right? Possible. I would just have dedicated trucks bringing them to the separator instead of having this be part of the loop. It's not too late to change that, by the way. Right? We can still tweak this. It's not a set in stone thing. I would simply need to reposition this dump to where it's kind of in the middle here, to the point where the factory connections can get underneath this walkway and connect there. And then that way I could at least increase my capacity to 30 tons of mixed waste. But every system is only as good as its weakest link. And I think right now we're pretty much showing that aluminum separation is the weakest link here. The other thing I could maybe do, depending on how this is looking, and it's on that side, damn, is I could just connect this directly to general sep again. That could be something. Another thing we could maybe look into, we do have this rail over here, right? We could possibly look into a situation where this rail could deviate maybe from here. This is a long stretch with no intersection. So we could maybe tap an intersection here and bring that in and drop it off right here and have another drop-off point for mixed waste. So we have additional separation happening over here. You could do that. There's a lot of ideas. I don't know which one's going to be the better one. This is a very big experiment, right? I'm just looking to experiment with waste. Speaking of experimenting with waste, I stalled long enough, and this thing is coming on in here to dump it in here. So how fast do you unload? Fast enough. Because remember, we're pulling it in at the same time, too. So we're able to process stuff, ramp up production, push it to here. Right, and then also, once this is empty, right, this will keep producing. So as long as it's not at maximum capacity, I mean, this train comes in, we do the thing, and then the train doesn't show up, this ends up getting emptier, and then this can keep working on this stack, right? It's just that this will eventually fill, right? That's just the way it goes. This will eventually fill up because we just can't hit this hard enough. And then this will never fill up because this is always pulling it in. So really having 50 workers in here is kind of pointless. We could go down to like, say, 35, and it would be about the same, I think, because we're limited by the input, not by the workers. So, yeah. Anyway, solved the waste problem. All right, let's take a quick look over here. Make sure that nobody's confused on this side. We're starting to build this. We don't yet have this done, but my goodness, do I wish we did. And it's like, it's fires over there in Charlebinsk. It's fine. If it says Charlebinsk is what's on fire, then everything is fine because we have good fire coverage over there. All right, so at the end of this video, what do we want to have done? I want to have this place making its own coal, all right? 10% unemployment. We need to put these people to work. So I want those guys to make their... What is that? Brand new vehicle. What is this? Container wagon. Oh, interesting. I don't really do much with containers. I don't think I've ever really done much with containers. I did a little bit with the first playlist because we were making, you know, with nuclear, things end up in containers with nuclear, right? It's once you get to, like, I think UF6, it ends up being in a container technically. But experimenting with the actual process of putting other resources in containers and moving them, I haven't done that before, because you can do that too. You can load up raw resources like steel and I guess, you know, whatever, aggregate maybe even too, I don't know. But you can load this stuff up, load it in containers, and then load the containers on vehicles, and it ends up being a little more efficient that way. You can get a little more stuff on them. As far as I understand it, that's how it works. And you get into that with research. You go into here. This is container standards. Research about international container standards. After research, we'll be able to use containers in our republic, right? So it is what it is. Yeah. So I don't really need much of it here. We could try tourism study just to get it done, I guess. And then over here, we can get the belt production. Continuing advanced engineering, right? To start making our own vehicles later. Seems pretty good. We actually probably should get into plastics because we're going to start using those when we start making our electronics and stuff. So probably should start getting into plastics. We have a ton. We have many tons, actually 260 tons of chemicals. And we're going to start seeing that we're producing more chemicals than we would ever need, right? That was by design. This is supposed to allow us to scale. So where are we scaling to? Well, we're going to end up loading chemicals. We're going to ship them off on a big grand journey to make plastics, and probably gonna end up making plastics over here too. I haven't decided yet, but we have a lot of places we could go over here to make plastics, and we just bring the chemicals in, drop them off, and say, hey, look, there's your chemicals. You make a bunch of plastics. Plastics go in here. Guess what? Everybody's using the plastics. Forklifts are really, really busy, right? Very, very cool. I think it's gonna be very cool anyway. So as the labor comes out, they should maybe start working in this building. But really what I'd like them to do is to work on the construction of these buildings. So I'll have to, again, just reiterate my intention here with the labor office here. Reiterate my demands and tell them I would like them to focus on these. Maybe with a slightly higher priority would be a good thing. Just to get all of this stuff done, por favor. Yeah, bring that to high priority too. And then after that, like, we're going to be producing our own coal. And then our coal should look like our iron looks. Hopefully. Probably not. What will probably happen is that both of these will be empty because we'll have so much steel we won't know what to do with it. Right? Okay. Here is that road depot I was talking about earlier, the small one. I still can't find it in my list. I have no idea where it is. If you know exactly where it is, please tell me where it is, because I've lost it. The only places I know of where road cargo stations are found are in the road menus right here and in the general cargo menu right here. Those are the only two places I know of. And these are both the big one. I don't want the big one. See how they're different? I want the small one, right? So what am I going to do with the small one? How am I going to get the small one, right? Well, come on over here to the farm. And this still needs to be taken out of here, so I'm sure they'll get to it eventually. It is the winter, so we're not in a super big hurry or anything here. But I do actually, well, okay, it's starting. The winter is actually going to end soon, so perhaps we are in a bigger hurry than I suspected we were. Maybe we could get the electrical line, which is already done. Hey, helicopters are effective, aren't they? We should probably put them on this too. they can't get there. That's why. Okay. Well, once this is done, we'll put that in the place here, and then we'll have to reconfigure where everybody is going to be unloading their stuff. Vehicles are there. That's good. Vehicles are there, ready to rock. We have this gas station done over on this side, but this isn't done yet. And they got the wind turbine done. Okay. So this place this is a gas station for all their farming vehicles, and it has gas, and it's able to provide. Cool. So we need to get this done too. And I'm going to tell the helicopters to maybe focus on that a little bit more, so I can get more vehicles on that side of the farm. And then I think we could probably afford to add more crops here. I do want a road that crosses right here, like that. Okay. And that road crosses there. This one crosses here. And then another one will cross down here, which is this one. We're going to have to go a little bit angled, but it's okay. It's going to be a little bit angled just to get around that farm. Still 481. Looks good. And then we'll go all the way across like so. And it should meet up with another intersection. Again, I have to go just a little bit more, I guess, because of how things worked out with the alignment of the farms. But we should be able to wrap around this. And this should be... no, it is not. Let's pull that back. That's why we do mud roads anyway, right? Just to make sure we don't do something silly. So maybe why don't we lay the farm first? Because it's not supposed to get in the way of a field. Okay, so there's supposed to be a field here. I could put a field here technically, but the distribution office is already right there, and I'll probably end up putting more stuff over here. Distribution offices, maybe even another full large farm could go in this spot, possibly. But the fields can totally be kind of like in this area. Should be all right. What about there? And then we'll have, let's say, how many fields do you have? How many connections do you have currently? Will it tell me how many assignments you have? It's a lot of them, right? But I don't think there's a specific number listed here. And then over here, you have... I think this office has more. Yeah, I mean, in general, I'm trying to make it to where you're on this side of the tracks and you're on that side of the tracks. So I realistically, I should be giving this farm... should be giving this field to this farm. So that's what I'm going to do. And then this one has all of these fields. There we go. Okay. So we'll probably have something else here. I don't exactly know what, but we'll have something else here maybe. Maybe even some workers. I mean, this could be where we do all of our repair stations. Everyone was always wondering about repairs. Maybe this is it. Maybe we have, I mean, remember, we're going to drive to work, right? People are driving to work here. So, you know, I'm not going to put mass transit here. People are going to move themselves in this town. I'm going to do that. This is a rural environment. Rural America, I mean, like, it exists. Bus routes and stuff exists, kind of, but it's 9 times out of 10, it's driving yourself where you're going. All right, we're just really spread out here. That's the way it is. And I'm okay with that too. I know some people have a problem with it. I think traffic's bad and stuff, but I think in the overwhelming majority of the country, the traffic's not that bad. And having the freedom of going where you want, when you want, in the comfort of your own vehicle, I value it. I'm sorry, I just do. I value it. So I think maybe we'll start with getting some parking lots in here. And then we'll look at maybe doing the repair center in here, because this is kind of a really weird space. A willy weird? Yeah, a really weird space. So how about we go like this, and we'll say a large repair station will have parking spots for 6 vehicles, and stations for vehicle loading and unloading is 12. So lots of stuff going on in here. Up to 80 workers. I like it. I think it's a very big place. And, you know, hey, if we can tag up on that one, then so be it. It's an added bonus, right? So I'm going to figure out exactly where people are going to park and how they're getting in here. So I'm thinking probably we can go, you know what? How about like this? Turn you like this and have the road come in on that side. Yeah, right about here would be a good idea. Just as long as we can barely get that building. Right there. I like that. That's a good spot. That's a good spot for you. You barely get that building. All right. Then we get the road to come in straight this way. All right. And, you know, perhaps we just have it wrap around straight. We could do that. We could do something like this. Not opposed to that. And then, you know, we have maybe a road depot here where we can take really bad vehicles, and we can just tell them to go there to get repaired. So I think maybe a road depot could be a good idea to have in here. Sure, right next to a repair center. That makes sense to me. So we can put in a road depot. Is there a better one or a bigger one or anything? Or looks like it's just this one. Okay, road depot right here. And then can it fit here? Would be a better place for it. I don't want to get in the way of the cars. Yeah, right about like this would be cool. Nope, not gonna let me place it right there. Okay, so right. Come on now. I don't want to get in the way of those vehicles. I think this will work. It's highlighting orange, so it should work. Show it should work. Wow, I'm on fire today, aren't I? My mouth is, at least. Okay, from here, we want a parking lot. And I would assume anyway that cars parked in the parking lot, as long as it's in range of this, would be getting maintained too. So if anyone's vehicle who goes and works at the auto mechanic place needs repairs, it would happen while they're at work, right? Makes sense to me. I mean, as long as it highlights. So let's try it. We'll go to the big parking lot, optimized traffic. These are spaces for 30 cars. Now, only 80 workers need to work here, so it's really not that big of a deal. And it does look to me like that is not the case. This does not highlight with a parking lot, at least not with these optimized ones. Not with this one either. So parking lots are out of the question. That would have made sense to me, but apparently it doesn't make sense to the developers. So, okay. We're going to say that we're going to go probably here would be good, right? We'll have it park. Would love to get this road to come straight across there. That would be nice. So maybe we can get... Yeah, do we need that though? No, we really don't need that road, do we? Well, yeah, kind of. I mean, this is, going to continue on as a highway that it is. So I kind of do want that to happen. Let's take a look down the barrel here. Go about like... Oh, you're not going to let me do that? Okay, we'll go about, let's say, there. Seems good. And then you on this side. Remember, we did this with a space so that we could have the trees between them, right? Right about somewhere in the vicinity of that, I think. It looks pretty good. All right. And then we just need these to cross. So we'll say you cross. Oh, you don't cross, you connect, right? Because this is a crossing road, right? Yeah. Let's actually make these the straight roads, and then these ones can be the ones that yield to us. About there, and it doesn't really have to be anything major, so probably as we get out to about this far, might be a good idea to start thinking about going symmetry here. We don't really need trees between them the whole way, but at least out to this point is where I want to be. So I'm going to keep going. I'll use the azimuth that everyone likes me to use. So right there, somewhere in the middle-ish there. And then out we go. Right about there should be good. All right. There's our soon-to-be paved, or at least eventually to be paved, highway segment. Then we have a junction right there. Okay, perfect. So I would like that to be a possibility. It doesn't have to be in this spot, though. I don't think so, anyway. And then we could have the other farm. The next farm could be right here. And then we could have the medium fields be on this side. And then that farm can have its stuff maintained in range, I guess, possibly. I don't know. Maybe we'll do something else in this area. But we're going to have the parking lots anyway. So I'm going to have you go out this way and then curve like this. You need multiple ways to get in and out of here because cars are coming from all over the place and leaving all over the place too. All right, so parking lots. Back on topic. Eventually, we're going to get there. We're going to have the parking lot be right here. Should be good for one. One parking lot can go there. Of another parking lot on this side. We want to just stay out of the way because these are factory connections. We want warehouses and stuff to haul things in here. And then you might think, okay, well, how are you going to get the resources in here? That's with trucks. And the trucks are going to have their resources brought via the rail, right? And we'll talk about the rail system a little bit because we're not done using it, right? This rail continues. And it's going to have, we're going to be able to supply stuff over here that gets logistically moved with trucks over to here, right? So we're not done with this area yet, but I do need to make sure that I leave enough room for that. So let's put a parking lot right here up against this road. About there should be good. Leave a little space, why not? And then we can flip it over like so. And have this one be here. Hopefully. Wow, you were just not cooperating. It's because of the terrain. There we go. That'll make it. Yeah, that'll teach it to mess with me. Right about like this. And then... that's so... I'm going to have to go back even further here, actually. Not quite what I want. So we're going to go back just a little bit further with this. And that gives us 90 cars. And 90 is more than enough. Honestly, we probably don't even need this parking lot. We could probably do a smaller one. Optimize traffic. Yeah, we don't really need that. Because again, maximum workers here is 80. So whatever. But actually having more parking spaces than workers is good because remember, people will reserve their parking spot as they are on their way to work, not when they arrive. And so if you have room for more people, then you can repair more things. But realistically, are we ever going to need to, you know, have this many people repairing vehicles? I don't think so. I wouldn't think so anyway. I mean, I guess maybe, but I doubt it. I really doubt it. Why are you not letting me build this? Come on now. Be nice to me. No, you just won't let me do it symmetrically. Okay, well, we're going to angle it then, and people will groan. I can't believe it. Yeah, I know. Not my fault. Game wouldn't let me do it. And we're going to say, we're going to take this out of here. Yep, pull that back. Take the walking paths out of there. Pull those back. Take this road. And we're going to go about like that and just... have you go, yeah, I mean, it needs to go all the way in here because this is where the warehouse is going to be. So we're going to put this right here like this, and then you're going to come straight like that. So the parking lots, right? People enter and exit at different roads, kind of stagger them a little bit so that they can go in and out of certain places and they don't necessarily get all over each other. Of course, these roads will need to be paved or at least gravel in order for that to work really well. And so what we're going to do is right around, say, January or December, we're going to start, you know, making the roads gravel again. There's also quite a few fields where I haven't, like roads and stuff. I guess there's no road that goes between this, which is kind of interesting, but I guess. And then this area here has a bunch of trees, so that looks cool. I've tried to line the fields with as many trees as I can find. And I actually think the tree area through here looks a little chaotic for the train because these trees are very wide and bushy. I think the poplar would have been a better pick here along the side so it doesn't get in the way of the tree. I mean, it still looks good, but it doesn't... If you are the train, it doesn't look good. It looks like you're about to get slapped with a ton of branches. So maybe the poplar would have been a better fit for that area. I don't know. But you are full again. Good train. See you later. February. I'm liking to see crops still in there in February. That's pretty good. So yeah, from this point, right, we need walking paths for them to be able to get to work. Gravel ones will do just fine. And we'll go all along the side here, and then we're going to have this part go up and go there. That's it. Simple. That's how they get to work. And then in here will be our warehouse. So we'll find the warehouse, and it'll be... I mean, we could get away with any of these, really, but a small one is, I think, fine, right? We need it's repair, so we need storage and warehouse, right? So small storage like this should be okay. Put that to be, we'll have this be maybe like here. Needs to be enough room for everything. Oh my gosh. You really do need this. The ground just isn't flat enough for me. Blah, blah, blah. Come on now. Don't be that way. There we go. Come on. Let me have that. That's fine. And then small warehouse should be okay. We have enough materials there to do that. So we should be able to do that. And the road in here, actually, a little bit tricky, isn't it? Because with the... maybe I should have the road on this side instead of the walking path. I think it actually would... that would be better, wouldn't it? It would be easier to put these things in there if that was the case. So, whoops, wrong thing. Here we go. So let's put you right here. This is much easier to stomach, isn't it? And then we'll say, maybe we do a little bit bigger warehouse. We can fit it in here. So as long as we can fit it, we should put it in here. And yeah, with this road now going this way, I don't need this stretch anymore. So we'll just bring that back like so. And as we bring that back, we now have room for the bigger warehouse, which can go right here. Hopefully right here. Like that. There we go. And then, of course, the rail. Going to do the rail things. Now, that's going to be harder to... No, it's not. I just have to do it manually like this. That. Like that. Right? And then reconnect. That. Like that. And this is the rail for this. So all of this should be marked as electrified rail when we go to build it. So we should be having this already made as electrified rail when we say we want to make it. There we go. Because it's going to be for the crop train. So if that's the case, the next load for the crop trains should be about here is where the next big storage for these are going to be. So we have a little bit of space here, a little bit of space throughout this. This is for the loading and stuff, right? So I have a little bit of space reserved in this area, and then we can start doing pretty much the same thing we did here. We can do that over here. Albeit we can do it correctly right from the start because we can, we'll do our second little cargo station over here too. So I'm going to wait until they fix that. God, sometimes realistic mode is annoying because sometimes you want to just be like, hey, you know, let me just deliver things. Let's just, like, can I just pay for the road and get rid of it so I can build something there? Sometimes that is what you really want to do. So I will admit that realistic mode does have its annoyances because of that. But overall, though, I think it's the true way to play this game. I'm not going to judge you if you don't play it this way. You can do it however you want. It's a video game. You play how you want. But for me, I just don't think I can go back. This is just, I don't know, it's the way I play it, the way the game works. I just don't think I can go back. So I probably won't. None of these are a particularly good deal. Kind of hoping to find. Can I have like a 30-year-old 99% wear tunnel boring machine? That'd be great, wouldn't it? Okay, so while we're waiting for all that to happen over at the farm, I want to talk about something that I should have been doing a while ago, or at least I could start doing now. It's not really that urgent, to be honest, but it's automatic vehicle replacement. Now that we have the scrapyard operational and I can start getting more people working in here, it's time to start looking at what it would be like to replace all of the old and ineffective vehicles that constantly keep needing repaired, bogging down all of our repair stores. I'm not entirely stores, no, shops. I'm terrible, man. I got like 2 hours of sleep. These like here, right? So this is really old, right? It's 23 years old and it's at 35% wear and tear, right? And so we're waiting to repair it again, right? These are relatively old vehicles and we could do better. And to go throughout my entire Republic and do that, if we're going to take a list of vehicles that we have here, to go through my entire Republic and do that, these are all of the road vehicles within 1,000 meters of where my camera's looking, right? So if I go the whole map, I have 17 pages of vehicles and they're all over the place. I can't just like go to each individual one and tear it down, replace it, whatever. Sorry, I can't do that, right? That's not feasible. So the game gives you automatic vehicle replacement. Now that the scrapyard is operational, let's take a look at that. If we click this button, right now we can see that it's off. We'll pause it really quick and turn it on. Here's how this works. You can get vehicles from depots, from vehicle storage, or you can purchase them new, okay? There's a couple of conditions that's going to allow us to automatically repair them. If the vehicle's wear and tear is above 80% and it is more than 20 years old, we can automatically repair this vehicle, replace this vehicle. And we can do so by sending it to the scrapyard. So vehicle will go to the scrapyard automatically and a new vehicle will be purchased from the border and brought, and it should just be replaced. Have the same line and everything is what it should do. But there are some conditions where we can't do that. So here we have a list of all of the vehicles in our Republic. At the moment, if a combine fits these requirements, then it will be replaced by another combine, right? If the RMN 12215 fits this requirement, it will be replaced by another one of the exact same type. However, The T-138 cistern that we were just looking at earlier, we can't replace that directly because it's no longer available to purchase for money. We can't buy it. Now, if we're currently making it, like we're producing our own and it's in vehicle storage, we could use that. Or if we have some sitting in a depot just waiting, we could do that. But we don't have either one of those things, right? So we're leaving the option to purchase. So what I can do is I can say, instead of replacing it with the same thing, I can simply click this, look over here, and I can choose a vehicle to replace it with. So instead of having this one, which has a different capacity, let's take a look. So this vehicle currently travels 70 kilometers per hour and, engine power, stats, length, all that stuff. But the important stats here, 25 years old, it's only at 11 tons of fuel that it can hold. And these are the fuel rats, right? So if we can have more fuel in our trip, we maybe make less trips, right? So why don't we say that the fuel rats could be replaced by these or by these. This looks like this is a USA truck. This is a Western truck. We do want to make sure that we are replacing them with vehicles from our own side of the border here, or from our own section of the world, because we won't be able to purchase them here if we don't have access to them, right? You have to have border access in order to do this. So yeah. So I think what we're going to do is maybe replace them with these. This is good into 2006. I think that's probably a pretty good thing. It's to be 16 tons of fuel instead, and it can travel 95 kilometers. This is probably going to be better suited for this. So we're going to go ahead and select that. Now, if any vehicle fits the age and wear requirements, it will be automatically sent to this scrapyard to get scrapped and replaced by the border, automatically purchased and sent on its way, right? Now, we can alter these conditions. So if the vehicle's 20 years old, maybe it's not 80%. Maybe I want it to go to 85% or something. I can alter that. Or maybe I want vehicles that are going to be good for, say, 25 years, right? Okay, cool. 25 years old now. And only those that are really old and above this will get scrapped, okay? So what we got to do, it can take a little bit of time. There's 7 pages of these things. But what I can do is go down and find all the instances where I can't purchase it. So these little X's. All the instances where I cannot purchase these, and I need to swap them. And so I can see what they currently are, what I'm currently looking at, 75 kilometers an hour, 52 capacity. And these are what are currently available, right? And I happen to have some of these in a depot. So if they're sitting in a depot not doing anything, they will automatically be used, right? We can use our own vehicles. So in this case, this one travels a little slower, but it has 85 capacity. It's not quite what I'm looking for these buses, which are predominantly used as my construction office buses. What I'd like to do is have buses that move faster and don't necessarily have as much capacity, right? So I sort them by total capacity. So that gives me the list, and then I can maybe go to page 2 here. I'm liking this one. Looks pretty good. It's until 1990, so it's kind of getting old, a little aged here. This one actually might be better because it goes till 2002. It's from Hungary. I believe we have access to this. Yeah, we have access to these, I'm pretty sure. And 45 passengers is great, right? It's a little less than the 52, but that's fine with me. And it travels faster, right? It's going to be able to get up and go. So that could be good. It's somewhat equivalent is what I'm looking for. Something that is somewhat equivalent to what I'm replacing, to what I'm doing here. So, and I know we have access to it because it's rubles instead of dollars, right? So I want to choose this one for the bus. Microbus, kind of doing the same thing. We're taking a look at total capacity, maybe flip it on its head. And for the microbuses, we can see that, 90 have 8 worker capacity, things like that, right? So we're mostly just looking for the relatively same thing. So I'm thinking I like these. So we'll replace these with these when I can. And so I'm going to go through the entire list and just do this. I'm not going to I don't need to show you everything here, right? But we have a lot of these older dumpers that need to be replaced. This one's 25 years old, right? It needs to be replaced. And so I'm going to go through each one of these and make sure that we can purchase them. And then we'll see what happens to the money and what happens to the scrapyard as we do this. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've gone through the list of all the vehicles I want to replace so that I can do it. And after I did so, it's now telling me on some of these, see how it changed just now? It's like I can't buy it for money, and now you can, right? And so some of these are going to say that I can't buy them for money, and yet they'll just trigger in. So I think there's like a little bit of a lag. If you're noticing this in your own game, just be patient, and I think it will refresh its list soon. But I've gone in and done that. So now the issue, or now the question will be whether or not we're going to purchase them. Are we going to be purchasing these vehicles? And how many vehicles end up going here to be scrapped, right? So we'll check back in on our scrapyard in a little while to see whether or not there are any vehicles that are going to for automatic replacement pretty soon. Okay. So I think I've pretty much taken care of everything. Did they get to this? They did, eventually. Okay, so here's how I want to do this. Right? Remember, we can't see that road cargo station. So we're going to have to go all the way over to Steel, and we're going to use this picker tool. We're going to go to the terrain tools, and we can choose the picker tool. This allows you to copy any building that is already on your map. So I can just copy this building because this is the smaller road cargo station. For some reason, I just can't find. And I'm going to put this right over here because I'm pretty sure that the big one won't fit. And I'm also pretty sure that this one will. So we're going to say right about here. Okay. Come on now. Don't be that way. It's all terrain, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It would be really nice if I could get the road to connect to the same intersection. That would be really convenient. So what I might do here, just to see if I can get away with it, I have to connect to that one on the far side. But if I hold control and don't build the road, could I perhaps get you to connect there? No. And you won't connect here because it's too sharp. I already knew that part. So we'll get rid of that, and then I can't find it again, so I'm going to have to go back over to Picker and just click that right there. Okay, bring it back over here. Come here, you. And probably what I should do, in fact, is maybe add. I'm going to do this actually. We're gonna place one right here, just so I can Picker it again if I need to. I need to maybe adjust where you are. Let's put you like this. Maybe this would work. Do you connect here? You don't. How about here? All right. You're being a jerk. Don't be a jerk. All right. Get there. And I mean, I may just have to have it be on the road. I didn't want it to be there, but it may just be required that it's there. You can see that it does want to use that factory connection in some instances, but not all. These road tools are ridiculous, aren't they? They're so ridiculous. I will never like them. It was like my number one complaint in this game before was the road tools. I don't think I will ever like them. You know, I mean, if it would fit here, then cool, but it's not going to. I could maybe put it up against that factory connection there, but yeah, I can't do that either. So it's got to fit here. It's got to go in there. I'm going to say that this works. Probably. I'm telling you, this game. Okay. Got that to work. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get this road to go where I want it to go, but we'll see if I can get it there. There it is, like that. So I want it to be merged into this intersection directly. And then I'm going to have this side come over here. All right. And what I'm hoping to do here, all right, we'll see if it works. We'll make a one-way street into this side, and then this is a one-way. So everyone who's coming into this one will be coming on this road, and they're just going to merge right into here. And with that, I could probably make this a one-way street and make sure that everyone who's coming in here is going in here. And effectively making sure everyone who's coming down this road is going in here. So, yeah. So that's going to give us our extra little bit there. We're going to go for the factory connection like that. And then, of course, we need the construction offices to get over here and help us build it, which is going to be for roads, more roads. And once the roads are done, we can do that. Okay? And they're already helping me with the electric substation, which will provide power to these buildings. Very nice. Okay, I did the thing. I did the automatic vehicle replacements. I did the farms. I took a look at steel. Let's take a look really quick at steel one more time, just to make sure mixed waste and stuff is getting taken care of. albeit not as fast as I'd like. Probably could use a few more of the large container trucks. You can see that if you look in our office here, we have both of our small trucks, but we don't have our large container trucks necessarily still available. So I'm going to take the small truck and I'm going to bring it over here and just dump it off in that road depot right there. And then I'm going to add to here another large truck, another large container, big container platform trucks, whatever. Yep, like this. Because that's clearly where our weakness is. We need more of the large container trucks. And so there we go. So we're going to have another one there pretty soon. But with all these rails done, that seems pretty nice. So we're going to go in with these signals now. And I want to go chain here. Clear here. And then two-way mixed signals here and here. There we go. So anyone can pick it up here. Okay, mechanical components manufacturing is now done. The building is done anyway. And we have begun making our own mechanical components. Very exciting times, isn't it? So this is dipping into the steel supply that's sitting over here. And we're still not done with these storages, but I would really like to get to at least this one. It's a high priority, but they just have a lot of things to do. I really need more construction offices. I need more helicopters. I need more vehicles. I need more lots of things, okay? I would very much like to see stuff build a lot faster, but I have to have the logistics in place to support something like that. And that means getting resources out this way to construct things. Now, of course, we do have this, and that is a pretty good amount of stuff. We probably don't even need this many boards, honestly. Probably go down to about here. And then, the rest of the building supplies and stuff are still pretty good. So getting another construction office over here probably would be the best idea, but we still can't get workers over here yet. That's still not a thing. So I would like to get the helicopter construction offices going. We can get our own people to work on helicopters would be pretty nice. I've also seen my population dip a little bit here. That's an interesting thing to take a look at. Looks like we really don't have hardly anything wrong for health. It's probably all about the workering. The workering, I am all over it today, guys. It is probably escapes, I would think. Yeah, quite a few deaths, actually. But a lot of escapes. If you don't get work for a while, then yeah, you'll take off. I mean, it's hard to be loyal when there's no work for you in the city, right? So we'll probably look at that. And, you know, since we have that area up and running, I think it's about time we take a look at this train platform, get it some power, and get trains moving into here. And so I can now turn on this Dnipro Flats and get that going. And then I think I'm going to also add... heat, though, you know? I don't know about our heating capacity. We're going to have to look at what the next version of heating and food production, things like that. It's going to be probably somewhere over in this area. Maybe sitting right here would be good. You know, it just needs to be on or near the train network, right? That's the prerequisite for this. It just needs to be on this network right here. So that we can bring things like coal in here. We can bring, you know, food, crops in here, etc. That's something that needs to happen. And the crops would get brought in, you might think, with the crop train, but in actual fact, no, it doesn't get brought in with the crop train. I think Charlemagne's North could probably be served food, if I'm being honest, by this area, but it's just a really long way for trucks to bring it. So we're going to have the stuff dropped off over here, and then it gets picked up by distribution and taken somewhere else. So it's really easy for the crop trains to go in and out of here to make that happen. One other thing I could maybe do in that sense is to add another one of these storages. If we notice that this is always full and the train's just like, it is like super full right now. It's April, super full, and the train is sitting here with 522 tons. And in addition to that, since it's April, we still have 666 tons over here. So we're definitely good on food now. And you can see we're already, I mean, these crops that are all like a slight yellow tinge, they're already growing. And so the ones that are partially growing, the ones that are already growing, we're basically hitting every field already. So we have capacity for more, right? We have capacity for more. And I can probably redo all these fields and lay them in nice and neat eventually too. But I think what I might do is add another one of these and then put another food factory right here. Just to get pretty good like direct highway access for some food, and it can be taken down with trucks and brought into Charlemagne's North as we build it.